Our top story this morning comes from Central Kentucky, where a sheriff's deputy was shot and killed during a traffic stop. The Scott County Sheriff's Department says this shooting happened just before 5 yesterday on I-75. That's really close to Georgetown.
Yeah, and you can take a look at pictures from the scene right now. You can see the sheriff's deputy vehicles over here off to the side of the road. Everything closed down. Now, Kentucky State Police say that Deputy Caleb Conley was taken to the hospital where he later died. The Scott County Sheriff's Department says that a suspect was taken into custody in a nearby area. Right now, that suspect's name is not being released. Now, Deputy Conley has been with the sheriff's office for the last 4 years. He was previously in the Army. The sheriff says that he leaves behind a wife and small children.
Officials expressed their condolences on social media. On Twitter, Governor Andy Beshear said in part, "This hero made the ultimate sacrifice, and we will be forever grateful." The Louisville Metro Police Department put out the message of support, also saying in part, "We offer our prayers and support during this difficult time. Rest easy, brother." This story is still developing. As we learn more about the suspect and arrangements for Deputy Conley, we'll keep you updated on air and online.
Now to more local news. The number of fatal and non-fatal shootings continues to soar here in the metro area. Just this past weekend, we saw 6 more shootings across several different neighborhoods here in Louisville.
In hopes of curbing the violence, the city office, which focuses on safety, is expanding its program, creating more interruption sites. Initially, these sites only existed in Smoketown and the Russell neighborhood. Now, the Office for Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods is adding sites to the Shawnee, Portland, and California neighborhoods. The office is also seeking more funding and made an appearance at last night's Metro Council budget meeting. Taylor Woods and photojournalist Ian Hardwitt followed the story.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the extreme violence in Louisville didn't stop, with shootings injuring up to 12 people, including a 3-year-old.
We have a period of time right now in our city, unfortunately, in the last couple of weeks, we've had several what would be defined as sort of mass shootings, where we've had an incident where 4 or more people were shot.
The head of Louisville's Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods is one of many trying to stop the violence. Tanika Bacon is with the city's Pivot to Peace program, going into homes at all times of the day, supporting victims of gun violence and their families.
We know why they're angry. We know why they're upset. We know why they're in pain. And we are able to address the trauma that they're going through.
The goal is to interrupt the violence before it happens. The city is now creating what's called interruption sites to exist in the Portland and Shawnee neighborhoods, the scene of some of the weekend violence.
We've now been able to implement 3 additional sites for the Shawnee neighborhood, the Russell community, and also the California Park community.
The Louisville Central Community Center is also a new site in the California neighborhood. In February, they were fully staffed, and in April, trained and ready to go.
We are prepared to respond to incidents of violence as they occur within the confines of the California neighborhood.
They are now asking for more funding for a data analyst position to keep statistics of their programs.
Determining whether those projects are successful, whether they're achieving their desired outcomes, and as I said earlier, how do those desired outcomes independently and collectively contribute to violence reduction. Council
member Anthony Piagentini even encouraging them to have this position on hand for records.
We need to be thinking about getting that data at a macro level so we can pinpoint our future investments.
In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS11 on your side.
The announcement comes after a violent weekend here in the city. You can see here on this map the different neighborhoods that were affected. We have the Parkland neighborhood, Russell neighborhood, Wyandotte, Portland, PRP, Park Hill, all of them represented with violence happening throughout the weekend. Now, 5 children were among the victims of those shootings. Some of them were taken to U of L Hospital, others taken to Norton Children's Hospital. Dr. David Foley says firearms have become the leading cause of death in the U.S. for children. Many of Norton's gunshot patients suffer from unintentional injuries.
And if the injuries are of a type that can be fixed surgically, we're pretty good at fixing them. And we're pretty good at getting them here, and we're pretty good at the EMS part of it. But there are so many of these injuries where the outcome is predetermined.
Shootings remain unsolved. If you have any information that could help detectives, you're asked to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD, or you can submit a tip online using the portal.
And we have an update this morning in a lawsuit against the Louisville Urban League and former president and CEO Sadiqa Reynolds. Dr. Kishkumi Price, who ran the community service organization for a short time, says she uncovered financial misuse and was fired as retaliation. Her accusations mention specific organizations like Brown Forman and the Sisters of Nazareth. The sisters' significant grant donations for housing projects, but in the lawsuit, Price says the funds weren't being distributed fast enough to developers. So instead of the planned 30 homes, only 6 homes were built. In a statement, the Sisters of Nazareth said in part, as a congregation, the sisters hold deep respect for the legal process and believe in allowing it to unfold objectively. Former Urban League CEO Sadiqa Reynolds denies the claims, sending us a statement saying, often when people are fired, they sue. It's a sad reality of the world that has been created. Her allegations have no merit and will be resolved in a court of law. Price was named president and CEO of the Urban League after Reynolds stepped down.
The lawsuit filed by a retired Metro Police sergeant against Breonna Taylor's boyfriend is now dismissed. Jonathan Mattingly countersued Kenneth Walker in 2020 for assault, battery, and emotional distress. Walker shot Mattingly during the raid on Taylor's apartment on March 13, 2020. The charges filed against him for that shooting were later dropped. According to court documents, the counterclaims were voluntarily dismissed on Friday. This comes nearly 6 months after Walker's initial lawsuit against the city and several officers was settled for a reported $2 million.